Sweetcorn has to be one of the very best baits in the world, but I absolutely hate it. It is the bait that I have the least confidence in. Out of all the baits, I hate it. I think it's rubbish. But there's no doubt in its effectiveness. And when I did a video last year saying how much I dislike sweetcorn, there was comments galore. You must be mad. Sweetcorn is one of the best baits you can get. So I've got myself 3 tins of sweetcorn in this tub, and I'm going to try my very best to get my head around this awesome, what is an awesome bait, but it's just a bait that I just cannot get on with. So without further ado, let's get on the box and hopefully catch a load of fish on sweetcorn. So I can hear you all now saying, so if you dislike sweetcorn so much, why are you using it today? Well, there's been a few matches recently I've noticed that are starting to get won with sweetcorn. It's getting to that time of year when the water's starting to get a touch clearer. We're getting a few cold nights now. Autumn's like here now. Baits like corn can be really effective, and despite my dislike for the stuff, there's no doubting about it that when the water gets a bit clearer, that is when corn can be a really effective bait. I think for a autumn, winter, spring bait, corn is actually quite good despite my hatred of the stuff. And I've noticed that people are catching a lot of fish on corn lately, so I thought I probably need to come and do a bit of corn fishing before I go on my next match. Now, all I've got is 3 tins of sweetcorn. I got them out of the shop last night. I think it's Co-op home brand. Seems actually quite nice. Yeah, 3 tins of corn. I've not got any pellets or anything to go with it. I'm just going to dump corn in. Now, the good thing about corn is that you can combine it with other baits. So I'd be quite happy to feed it with hemp. I'd be quite happy to feed it with 4mm or 6mm pellets, even micros, casters and corn's another good combination. So just things to bear in mind. You don't have to just use corn, but this is a venue that's full of silvers, absolutely full of it. I'm here at Medlands today on Lambsdown Pool, and I think I'm going to have to try and be more selective. So I'm going to put in like large amounts of corn with the big pot, and then hopefully fish a single or double grain over the top, trying to pick out either decent carp or even some skimmers. If I catch some skimmers and bream, then fine, it's not a problem. But yeah, so we're going to go in with the corn. Now, the rig's quite simple actually, but a couple of key points. I've just gone for, it's about, well, I can tell exactly how deep it is. It's 72 inches deep where I've chosen to fish on the top kit +2. It's quite early in the day, so I don't think the fish will come any closer than that at the moment. And I think, because, like I say, we're almost in October now as I'm filming this, it's starting to get to that point where the fish are just on the back foot a little bit. I still think the fishing is going to be good, but the fish might just be pushing away from the bank a little bit now. Maybe later in the day we could catch them right in the edge, but at the minute I just want to try and catch better skimmers and carp, so I'm fishing top kit and 2. Now rig wise, I've gone for a collet float, 0.6. Very simple stuff. Great float. And then my shotting is a little bit unique because I'm going to tell you the truth, I haven't got any number 8s in my box. And I tied this rig up and I forgot that I didn't have any number 8s, so I've just got number 9s down the line, and this float takes quite a lot of them. So to combat that, I've actually doubled them up to sort of create my own number 8s, if that makes sense. But I think this shotting is actually going to work quite nicely. So I've got pairs of number 9s throughout that shotting, and then I've got 2 at the bottom, just singles. Then I've got a fairly long 10-inch hook length and a size 12 B911 extra strong. I quite like a long hook length when I'm fishing for carp, especially, I go on about it a lot, especially when I've got a bait that's got some weight to it. So corn has got quite a lot of weight to it. So I can get, as soon as a fish picks it up, it'll register on the float. It's not like an expander where you need the shot to tell you when the bait's been taken. With corn, you've got that bit of weight that will register on the float. So really important that. And that means that I can use a slightly longer hook length. It's a bit up and down the bottom. It's a bit all over the place here on this swim. So having that, I've plumbed up to the sort of probably like an inch over depth, so to the bottom of the body, and a little bit more in fact, just to counteract that uneven bottom, because I feel like that's going to be a bit of an issue. So you'll notice I haven't got a kinder pot on. I'm going to feed everything through the big pot. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take my time, go out, pot the bait in, come back, rebait, and then hopefully by the time we get a baited rig into the swim, the fish should be on the bottom. Last thing you want when you're fishing in this depth of water is to be kinder potting or throwing your corn in or whatever, and the noise will just bring the fish off the bottom and you'll foul hook them. We probably still will foul hook them because it's quite deep, but I'm trying to minimise it by big potting. So sometimes we forget about the old big pot, but it can be really good, especially in these deeper swims. So let's get some corn in the swim, let's get it fed, and yeah, let's see if I can get this chip off my shoulder when it comes to corn fishing, because like I say, it's a brilliant bait, especially at this time of year. Okay, let's get on it. corn fishing. So I'm just going to put in 1/3 of a pot. Kick off like that. Now, I'm expecting some good fish here, I think, with a bit of luck. So I've just got a far bank marker, which is some trees on the far bank, and I'm accurately and quietly going to pop them in, just like that. So no noise really. We're not dropping it in from a height or anything like that, because the last thing we want to do is bring them fish up off the bottom like they would if I was to throw the corn in or pot it from a height or whatever. Chances are the fish will come off the bottom. Just let that settle a second. Let's get in there. I think I'll just start with single corn. The only thing I haven't done is put some back shots on, so let's do that. Let's get some back shots on. Ordinarily I'd use number 8s, but seeing as I haven't got any, we're using 4 number 9s because it's a big float, so we need a bit of weight. Let's get this in play, this rig. So there we go, 4 number 9s, because I'd normally use 2 number 8s, but I haven't got 2 number 8s. Right, let's get in there, see what we catch. I would imagine we'll probably catch some skimmers to start with. Let's just see. Right, let's get in there. I'm just going to put my rig slightly down the slope and then lower it in position. Like I say, it's a bit of an awkward bottom here, so. There. And let's just see. I love these floats for this carp fishing. Positive on the bottom. 2.5mm tip, but a long tip. Like half the bristle is under the water there, but I've still got plenty of show, which makes it really, it's so stable when you fish like that. Like if I was to fish dotted down, obviously we'd get the stability, but you wouldn't be able to read it because there wouldn't be enough bristle showing. Likewise, if I had a normal length bristle fully out to get that much show, that's probably what's showing a normal length bristle, the body of the float would almost be out of the water. Wouldn't be right. The reason we went for that long bristle is exactly this reason. Fishing like this. So look, there's a toe there, and I can just dip my back shot in the water and hang on to it. No indications. See, if I was fishing pellets, I'd be throwing them in, 8mm. And we all know that I love throwing bait in. But we'll give it a proper go, the Colonel. Good old Colonel. The bestest bait in the world. Oh, hey. Not a carp. Definitely not a carp. Nice skimmer though, to start off with. Lovely little fish. Very welcome. Now I'm not going to feed again because I can't imagine that skimmer's just nailed all that bait. So let's go back out there and see what we can catch. My biggest bugbear with corn is everything. Now when I last went corn fishing, and the video I did got a great response from a lot of you who love corn. Some people were in the same boat as me, no confidence, whereas other anglers, oh, little indication there, other anglers were, nope, corn's away. And I have been, some people can really make it work, especially when they're putting lots of corn in, you know, several tins. And I know when we used to go to the glebe, it was a great way to fish, short poled corn, but even then I couldn't catch on it. Just haven't got any confidence in it. If it's single bait, I'm chucking a bomb and corn out or something like that, I'm all for it. But as an actual bait to feed like we're doing here, just blows my mind that anyone would pick this over pellets. Oh. Skimmer though, not a carp. But it's a fish. And it came after potting. God, there's a fish here. Because I don't want to. No, skimmer, because I'm not. Because I'm trying my best not to loose feed corn by hand. I'm throwing an odd piece down this right hand edge. And there's a carp here eating it in 6 inch of water that I could put a saddle on. So I've only thrown like a little pinch of corn in there. He didn't mind it, did he? He came and ate it. Now, I actually think corn is a better bait when, like I say, I think it's a good bait as a single. And it comes off. Pellets don't come off, do they? I think it's a better bait when it's a single bait. By that I mean, you know, when you're chucking out bomb and corn in the winter, for instance, or you're using it as a target bait over like a bed of hens or smaller pellets or whatever it may be. I think that's when corn's good. I think when you're putting lots of it in like this, I think you're better off feeding. You're better off fishing other baits. I'm so negative, aren't I? Why am I being so negative? I'm getting bites. What more do I want? Maybe I'll love it in like an hour's time. Oh, that was cool. I don't think that was a skimmer. Gone for double corn this time, which will probably mask the hook and lead to a bumpy. Oh dear. Bloody corn. But like I say, it is winning matches at the moment, and it is a good bait at this time of year. So we shouldn't be so negative. I actually got a right battering off this lake once. I was fishing a silverfish league. The Garbolino Silverfish League. And Lee Taylor, I got to be fair, oh, there we go, blooming heck. That one pulled the elastic out on double corn. Oh, he's going. Jeez. Yeah, and I was on this Silverfish League, which is a famous league, great standard of angler. And to be fair, I used to do really well. In fact, I think I come 4th, I think, in the league, the one time I fished it. But that's by the by. And I used to have a really good record along here, fishing worms, like a worm bomb, like I showed you in a recent video. And I was doing that along here, and I was catching a roach every chuck. And Steve Hemingway next to me beat me fair and square on the worms and stuff. But Lee Taylor was here somewhere. And bearing in mind it was winter time, he fished corn short in a silverfish match late on and caught like 5 or 6 proper bream late on to beat me, which was very frustrating. Steve Hemingway beat me fair and square because he's just better. But yeah, Lee did really well catching those skimmers, so well, that weren't too bad. That weren't too bad at all. Double corn might be the answer. Yeah, fair and square in the chops. Nice carp. Right. Well, that is it. Well, that one came after feeding, so we'll do that again. We'll pop. Put the bait on again. That was double corn, so let's put 1 piece on. 2 pieces on. Like so. Didn't mask the hook, and it took it fair and square. Now you may be thinking, why don't you just use a kinder pot? And you could, but I think sometimes just that time between you potting the decent amount of corn in like that, the time between that and getting the rig on, you know, I'm going to check my hook bait, get out there. It just gives that corn a chance to think. If I was doing it with a kinder pot, my hook bait would be on the bottom, and then all that corn would be fluttering through the surface, which could lead to foul hookers. Sometimes just using the big pot, even though you might only be feeding a similar amount to what you'd feed in a decent sized kinder pot, that little delay just helps it out. It's something that we probably don't do enough of these days, because we use kinder pots to such great effect, but when you're fishing deep water like this, big potting can be really good. Something that I know my mate Rob Button does an awful lot, puts a lot of faith in feeding with a big pot, coming back, baiting his hook, going out and having a settled swim by the time he gets there. And it's something just to certainly bear in mind. Especially when you're trying to catch fish on the bottom like we are here. So we've had 2 skimmers and a carp. Not a bad return at all, in fact. Now one good thing about corn is the price of it. It's a very, very cost effective bait. Now I got 3 tins of corn out of the shop, and granted they were co-op's own, so they were a bit more minty than Aldi. But they were still only, I think they were 95p a tin. So £3 for a 3-pint tub full of corn. Now if you went to Aldi, I think it's about 60 odd p now. So a 3-pint tub of corn for less than £2 at Aldi, which is great value bait. So that is the one thing that we can say corn's got going for it. It has got other things obviously, but just not in my opinion. So I've just been having a bit of a fish with Pete Kane just been sat with me. It's actually been alright, I thought. What have I caught? 3 carp. 2. Might be 2 carp. And about 8 or 9 proper skimmers. And it's actually been alright. I've been catching plenty of fish. And the key has been just to fish double corn over a little sort of third of a pot of corn, and just accurately hold that bait over the top. And I say we're catching some lovely skimmers and an odd carp, and I dare say the more we did it, the more carp we'd catch. I've resisted the urge to throw bait in, which is difficult for me, but yeah, it's actually quite a nice way of fishing. And I do think we'd be catching more carp if we were just throwing 8mm in, because I just think that the fish here are so tuned into 8mm that they love the noise. But potting decent amounts of corn in like this and fishing it out ain't a bad way to fish, and to be fair, it's working. So I think we catch more carp on other baits, on 8mm pellets, but yeah, a bit more positive about the kernel than I was when I started. So we'll just catch another fish or 2. It's noticeable there's less skimmers at the moment, but when I catch one, £2 plus, good, real good fish. A bit of a toe's just come on the lake. Ooh, ain't watching. Put it back on the pole end. Oh yes. Flying D. Wonder why they do that. You see, even like that's 18 plus pink zip, and they pull a metre or so of it out. I mean, they're great fish, aren't they, to catch while you're waiting for carp? I mean, they're not £3, but they're certainly 2 and a bit. Cracking fish. Beauties. Let's catch one more. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put more bait in, and then hopefully we'll catch a carp to end on. But you would need a bit of bait though to do this, because that's 3 cans. 3 cans of corn in this little session. I remember in the days at the Glebe, they used to feed a whole tray of corn, 12 tins in a match. It was deadly. The veg line. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more positive about the old kernel, I must say. If we could catch a carrot, that would be lovely. But if we don't, it's not the end of the world. I think the simple approach of potting and sitting is just, we kind of don't do it so much nowadays. We're all kinder pot and throwing bait in mad. Sometimes just potting and sitting like this can be, can be really effective. And then this is where you want your big stable float like this, 0.6. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Just potted that corn in. Like a third of a pot. I'll tell you what, I might add some pieces on here. They've pulled up, we've got the proper kit on, but with it being so deep, obviously when they charge off, they're going down and away from you, so you really feel it on the deposits like that. Come on, mate. I use a cart pole at venues like this because I just think if you can afford to have, I'm lucky I've got myself a cart pole as well with my X70, but if I was just fishing here all the time, I wouldn't even hesitate, that's the pole I'd have. I wouldn't have the X70, I'd just use one of these because it's just nice having an extra bit of security in your sections, because these fish, when you're using big elastic like this, puts a lot of pressure on your pole. And that one just came after actually feeding. Where's it going? Come back. Jesus, look at that. Elastic out. I couldn't even believe they could pull that much elastic out. Very good gear on. I think he'd be fouled up, but he wouldn't. Right in the mouth. Just big. Here he comes. Just big units like that. Perfect one to end on. And he's a bit of a funny one actually. He's got a bit of a belly on him. But I'm not going to say corn is now going to be my first choice bait. There's no doubt in its effectiveness. And that is a cracker to end on. I mean, look at that. It's a big old thing, isn't it? Big lumpy beast. Oh, getting back. Yeah, so give it a go this time of year. It is the time of year to get the corn out. And by simple tactics like that, using the pot, and being a bit patient, you can catch absolutely loads of carp, just like that one we just had. Thanks for watching everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe.